Hello, everybody. Welcome to another covered call market pulse week. It is July 24th, and we are still yellow. But I'll tell you what, if you're a Tesla investor, you don't feel very yellow right now. You feel pretty red. And I'm sorry to all those people that are in Tesla. It's been a tough slog. But you know what? They run a good company. It's just one thing I want you to remember is that the story does not equal the stock price. And a lot of people get so sucked into, well, Elon Musk is great and never bet against that, and they're going to get bought by SpaceX and all these other fundamental stories. But when you're in the stock and you're not protected, like I warned a few days ago in a video, be protected going into earnings. Now, there's probably no way you would have been protected all the way down through that move. But if you would have at least gone down in the money, 15, 20 points, something like that, it wouldn't have been as painful. Today, it's just a really rough candle. And this week, it's a rough candle. So there's no two ways about it. Sometimes these things go down a lot longer and farther than you think they're going to go down. And hopefully that's not you. All right, let's talk about some other fun stuff for the week. And I'm going to go to this screen here. Hopefully you're seeing that. All right, so this is the market timing indicator, and you can see that we are yellow, and we are yellow for 2 days in a row, but really 5 out of 6 days or 4 out of 5 days in a row, we've been yellow. So we've been trying to make a little bit of a high, but churning around in here in this market, I'll tell you what, has been a head fakey kind of market for a couple of months. So it's been hard to trade. If you're trading this market, unless you were on the top side of SanDisk and then maybe on the bottom side of SanDisk, you've done well. Anyway, it's been really tough for if you're not one of those people. So you can see the market is yellow. The QQQs are red. So there's a red light on the QQQs. The SPY is yellow. So the broader markets are generally yellow. The Dow Jones is red. So we've got a mixed story, but it's not a positive green story. It's more, like you should be cautious, right? It's like running the red light. You don't want to run the red light because it gets dangerous. And you don't want to slam on the brakes or hit the accelerator too much on the yellow lights either. So it's just a time for caution. And maybe it's a time to weed your garden if you haven't already done so, because there's a lot of dogs that might be in your portfolio. Weed those. You're going to be amazed how good you feel when you weed your garden. All right. Let's talk about the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, you can see it came down here, and now it's kind of going back to this little support line. It's for some reason it's holding right there. That's a little support line. It needs to hold here, and it needs to hold here on volume. Otherwise, I could tell you we're going to be wanting to go lower. So keep an eye on this. We had a gap down. The volume wasn't great yesterday, so it didn't kill us. But there was a gap down, right? So the price leads, but the volume does the color commentary. So there was a price down. S&P 500, a little bit better, bouncing off of this little uptrending line that I've drawn there. Bouncing off it very nicely, actually, and it's above it today. It needs to get back up over the 50-day moving average, though, and it needs some volume to do it. Yesterday, gap down below the 50 on volume, not incredible volume, but, higher volume than the day before and average volume. So, that doesn't look too bad, but we still need it above the 50s for good stuff to happen. Same thing with the Dow. Dow is above the 50-day moving average, though, so it's looking a little bit healthier. Remember, Google is in the Dow, and Google did not have a good day yesterday. The New York Stock Exchange Composite, the overall market is actually looking a little better than the tech side of the market, right? And so you're seeing that one way above the 50-day moving average, up above all the moving averages that I have here, and way above this little trend line that I put on there. So it's a mixed story, kind of like I talked to you last week about, where there's not a lot of leadership. There's not a lot of things that are moving higher or trending higher. And we have some things that are trending lower, and those are mostly in the tech, which is allowing a rotation to go into different stocks, different markets, different industries, which is what happens during these kind of crazy markets where people are taking money out of one sector and putting it in another sector. The VIX is about, it's a little elevated, but it's about around its moving averages, and that's what the VIX does. And now look at Tesla. So Tesla on this chart, you can see these two candles over here on the right. I've zoomed way out. So you can see this stock has been in a downtrend, right? And I've been talking about Tesla. Most of the time, I'm like, look, it's not able to, there's not a lot of reasons to buy this stock. I mean, I can't find any reasons. It's not the right spot on the chart. If you get rid of the chart and you just listen to Elon Musk, you're going to say this is the greatest company in the world. But unfortunately, the stock price doesn't tell that story. The stock price tells a different story, right? If you listen to that call the other night on Tesla, they were very nonchalant about we're doing some FSD and we're doing some Optimus robots and, it's going to be great. But it wasn't like, the next quarter is going to be awesome. So the street's like, these guys kind of almost don't believe in themselves in the near term. And I don't know if that's because they were trying to depress the price because maybe SpaceX will buy them. I don't know. Excuse me. So that's what we've got going on in Tesla. It's in a downtrend. There was really no reason to buy it. If you were in it or you own it from a long time ago, great. You should be selling calls on it maybe and collecting juice and collecting income. But right now, that big gap down yesterday where it gapped down $55. Today, it's following on that gap, or at least it was a little while ago, down to 309. It hasn't had a move like this since early 2024, I think. So it's been a couple of years. Nvidia is actually starting to look a little promising. That's not a big endorsement, but it's starting to look a little promising. It's off the 200-day here. Couple of tests there. It didn't do a dreaded H pattern. It's bouncing. It's right around the 50. If we get any kind of a market, green market, we might get a push back up to these all-time highs at 236. That's going to be an interesting test. We'll see what the volume looks like as it gets up there, but no reason to buy this yet. Maybe around the 215 area might be the time to start taking a look at an early entry. Apple, though, is showing some real resilience, right? Some real leadership. And, up off the bottom where it took me out because I had a circuit breaker set in here. And then it's been bounced off the bottom, went all the way up to the top, and it's had a weak few days, but today looks dynamite, right? So they got numbers coming up in 6 days. So maybe this is a move into those numbers. We will see. But Apple looks fairly strong. It's a little extended from the buy point at 304, I think is where it was. But anyway, that's the way it goes. SanDisk, though, has been the story for the last month or so as it's sold off from those all-time highs. You would think, well, maybe I don't know what you would think, but I would think that SanDisk would be down much more off this all-time high. And so maybe we're doing a little dead cat bounce here where we're bouncing up, but it doesn't look that bad to me. Just doesn't. It's still got good relative strength. Yes, it's below the 50, and that's not good. And we're trying to make our way with some decent volume candles down here at the bottom. Not great volume, but okay volume. Today's not so good. So today could be the beginning of what's called a dreaded H pattern. And that would be, coming down to this 1280 level, something like that. So keep an eye. Right now, there's not a reason to buy it, sell it, nothing. It just doesn't look as bad as it should after this massive sell-off from 2,300 to 1,300. That was a big, massive sell-off. But you would think that, it'd be bouncing or doing something on volume. It's kind of not doing anything. The DRAM is the Round Hill Memory ETF. This one does not look good at all. It's under the 50-day moving average. Full disclosure, I have a little short position on this, doing something what I call the juicy puts. It's working out pretty well. But, I look at this thing to go down a little more, maybe making a dreaded H pattern here, which is this long tail and then an upside down U, kind of making an H there, if you can see that. So this is not lovely for sure, but it's not bad, right? It's not too bad. I mean, you would see these high volume candles if it were really bad, but it is under the 50. It's not good. How about that? Micron is, however, a little bit more promising. It's kind of clustering and churning around the 50-day moving average. That's pretty good. Still high relative strength, still in the right sector, digesting some of the gains it had from, the 300s all the way to 1200. That's probably a little bit of selling going on, but relatively healthy hanging around the 50-day moving average. AMD, kind of the same thing, above the 50. That looks pretty healthy as well. Eli Lilly is one of my favorite stocks right about now. It's showing true leadership. Its relative strength is moving higher. It's kind of in a buy zone area. It's broken out from this, this pivot point here. A lot of good news happening on Eli Lilly, and maybe that's because there's a rotation away a little bit from the technologies and into some of these medical companies. So that's not so bad. GE Aerospace had lousy action after its numbers here a few days ago, and it's kind of made all that back up finally and bouncing. So this is looking fairly healthy. GE Aerospace, makes those big jet engines and turbines. Bloom Energy, everybody talked about how energy was the big play. Well, Bloom kind of got sucked down with all that AI infrastructure play, like SanDisk, for example. And so you're seeing Bloom give up a lot of the bloom, right? And so it's coming down from 351, it's down at 200. That is a big move down. The cool thing is, and a lot of people in my mastermind group here are in Bloom Energy, and they get covered call income. Bloom pays a lot of juice, so a lot of income on this, especially if you're in the money, protecting the downside. But it looks to be like it's shaping up to have a little dreaded H pattern, maybe wanting to go test that 200-day moving average. We'll see what the volume looks like. If it's light, I don't expect too much more downside. So we'll see. Let's see. Do one more. Oh, this is one I've got a little short position on to the downside. It's Carvana. I don't really understand a lot of reasons why people would use them. They make their prices of their cars expensive because they deliver them to you. And I don't really see a lot of love in the automotive space right now. It is the number 88 out of 145 industries. So I'm just using what's called the fade 50 pattern. I'm not going to get into it here, but I've basically shorted this over the last several weeks, coming off the 50-day moving average. I don't want to end it there. Let's see if there's something good to find. All right, I'll go over some of the industry group ranks. The number one industry is the computer and hardware peripheral industry. If you want to look at a company like Dell, that's showing a lot of relative strength and near a buy point. Oil and gas refining, you can see 6 months ago was 69 out of the 145. Now it's number 2. Transportation equipment manufacturing, that's like a GE company, that's doing well. Transportation and rails. Anyway, you get the idea. I don't need to read them all to you. So there's still some things that you can start to use industry group wise to start your research and get set up in companies in those groups, because generally when they're in leadership groups, you get a lot of strength from a leadership group in a market. Okay, a lot of talking today. Thanks for sitting with me if you've made it this far. I hope I'm helping you put a little picture of the market together. I just take 10 minutes every week and just kind of go over things the way I see them. I think it's important to flash as many charts in front of your face as you can, because the more charts your brain sees, the more it starts to see patterns. And we are, one of the reasons that we're most successful as human beings is because we recognize patterns. We're not the strongest, but we have a pattern recognition ability that helps us gain intelligence. And that's all I'm trying to do, is let you get exposed to a few different ideas. And if it kicks off some research, great. So thanks for joining me here on this week's Market Pulse. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Remember, we're yellow, so don't try to be a hero. And I'll see you next week on Friday's Market Pulse. Take care.